welcome to Elevator Pitch, the podcast with me, Hazel, and my co-presenter.
Altair, hi.
Welcome.
It's just Altair. The hi is just the hi. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so this is our podcast where the central premise is that we introduce each other to films that the other may not have seen or may not have seen in a very long time and gain a new perspective on it or get some feedback on it. For the first two episodes, we picked childhood films. You picked The Crow.
The Crow.
that childhood classic, and then in contrast to me, I picked High School Musical.
Woo! Woo! So this is a family friendly.
We're all in this together.
I don't know if we can sing that song.
Why you think we're gonna get sued? By Disney.
I don't know. Maybe we'll get famous. No. Maybe this episode will go viral, and we're gonna be able to get money from this, and then Disney is gonna take it all away from us.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them, to be fair. No, I think if we played the actual song, I think they'd get to us. But I think me just singing a song,
okay,
they can't get me for that. Famous last words.
We'll ask our lawyer.
After this podcast. So I picked High School Musical. I remember it was a big thing for me in my childhood. It's generally like, I know you're a bit older than me, so it kind of passed you by a bit, I guess.
Yeah, like I do remember that like a lot of my classmates were very into High School Musical. But I think it came out when I was like maybe 13 or 14, and I was already accepted the darkness in me.
You're already. I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, 2006 it came out. So
yeah. How old was I? Yeah, 14. So.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Oh God. I was 9. I was 9.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, this was such a big thing. When you think that, I like to think. When you look at the first two were basically just TV movies for Disney. And then it became so successful that they released the third one in cinemas. And I remember...
okay.
Yeah. And I remember going to see... I remember being really excited to go and see the third one and kind of being disappointed, to be honest.
And they also had, concerts, right? I remember that.
So I did a little bit of research. They've done concert tours. They do ice shows. There's been...
What is ice shows? Ice. Okay.
Ice.
I understood like eyes from the far of your body. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Wow. Ice shows. No, yeah, ice shows. Cold ice. Yeah, and there's three. There was an Argentinian version.
Oh, of High School Musical?
Yeah, they made a Brazilian version. And they made a Chinese version of this.
Shit, it was huge then.
Huge. Really, really huge. And now, obviously, there's this... fairly recently, they're still trying to capitalize it on... I discovered this on Disney Plus, and it's called High School Musical, the TV show. Just ridiculous.
That's the best title for anything ever.
The best title. And I did a little bit of research. Apparently, it's like this. For anyone who doesn't know, I guess it's basically set in a world where they're in a high school, and the school is basically recreating High School Musical. So they're staging High School Musical in their school.
Oh, that's why it's High School Musical, the musical, the show.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's sense. It's like this meta thing, where it's you're kind of in this real world where High School Musical is a film that they know of, and they're staging High School Musical at their school.
I think Disney is really into this whole meta stuff thing. I don't know what was first. Maybe High School Musical, the show, was before WandaVision. But I think WandaVision also deals with this whole meta language, and so maybe they're seeing a trend here.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it was the most. I researched. It was the most commercially successful Disney Channel movie ever.
High School Musical.
Until I think the second one had even higher ratings. I think.
Okay.
Which I would recommend the second one. I think the second one's better.
Okay.
A little bit more info. the director, Kenny Ortega, he choreographed Dirty Dancing. He was a choreographer on Dirty Dancing. So he did some of the choreography on this.
That's why they did that. Well, that Latin number, like Sharpay and her brother.
Oh,
Maybe. Yeah,
maybe
it's
that
like,
comes
let's
from
put a little bit
that.
of Latino flavor.
That was interesting watching. If you want to go and rewatch that scene where Ryan and Sharpay perform their Latin rehearsal
They have like a number
audition.
Like yeah.
And it's Latin themed, and they go like, ah,
Like
and,
caliente.
and watching that, sitting next to a Latina, watching you roll your eyes. That was amazing.
Okay.
And the soundtrack went triple platinum
Scheiße.
for this thing, so it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was a big deal in the sense that everyone was talking about it, but I didn't know that it made so much money.
Yeah.
And I thought the third film was also like a TV film.
No, it came out in cinemas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they really capitalized on it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I guess here's my pitch, my elevator pitch for High School Musical. A bunch of high schoolers try to dissuade the school star athlete from exploring the arts through the medium of song and dance. Which is pretty accurate.
Exactly. That's one of my notes. Actually, we'll get to that.
the ironic.
Exactly. Like
almost
no,
kind of
man,
meta.
musicals are lame. Let me sing about it.
Exactly. Let me sing to you. Let's do a choreographed, synchronized dance about why you shouldn't explore other hobbies.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's my pitch, and I'm gonna give you 5 reasons why I should like it.
Okay.
Obviously, the first one is great soundtrack and choreography. I think the choreography is really good. You have a lot of great performances, I think, for some young stars.
Yeah.
Second one, I think, is it's quite a sweet, wholesome message about being yourself. It's quite schnolzy, I guess, but it's quite sweet, I think, for a teen movie. It's an enjoyable watch. My third one is lots of gay subtext. Going straight for that.
That's always a good excuse
to watch a film.
You know.
I recommend it. No, I got onto this. I wasn't kind of aware of it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then there's this YouTube channel I think it's called Are They Gay? And it's basically they analyze different couples that aren't explicitly gay on screen, but they analyze. And one of them is Chad and Ryan.
Chad is the
Chad
guy with the afro.
Yeah,
and
is
Ryan?
Troy's best friend. Ryan is Sharpay's brother.
Okay, but he's openly gay, no?
That's some of the research I did, was that the actor who played Ryan asked the director, Kenny Ortega, because Kenny Ortega's gay.
Yeah,
And
I imagine.
Yeah. Way to stereotype. No, but he asked the director, like, is this character gay? And I think he said yes. But obviously this is 2006, it's Disney, so they couldn't really... It was more kind of coding him as gay rather than openly saying it.
That is true. But
so,
yeah.
I mean, we know to this day Disney is still a bit awkward when it comes to gay stuff.
Yeah.
I have watched videos... Yeah, and then there's one video about this Chad and Ryan, because they do have, like, they play this baseball game.
This is in another film.
This is in the second film.
Okay.
And it's quite homoerotic.
Oh, okay. Like, yeah, I can imagine.
There's
like,
a lot
with all
of
the
gay...
bats.
No, it's kind of like,
and
because
all
it's called I Don't Dance, I think is the song called.
So what's
And
the
it's basically
subtext
like
of that
Chad
song?
being like, I don't dance, and Ryan is, I think you can. And yeah, it's played a lot. And then inexplicably they switch outfits after the basketball that game. They just show a scene where they're in each other's clothes.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's...
What is the filmmaker trying to tell us there?
What is I trying to do?
Okay.
And I think you can read a lot of, like, Chad's insistence in this film.
In the second one or the first one?
In this one.
Okay.
In the first one. That he's so, like, adamant that Troy shouldn't do drama.
Yeah.
There's kind of there's something going on there, I think.
Okay.
That he's like, no, you're a basketball player. You don't do theatre and drama and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, you can read something in there. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that's been analysed.
Well, I mean, everything is gay if you really look into it.
If you really look at it, everything can be gay. No, but I think the other thing is also people have picked up on is also just this idea of like Troy and Gabriella being like, I want to try something new.
Yeah.
This maybe isn't me. Like I want to do something that
It's all a metaphor for when you want to
come out.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
You could read it as such if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think like everything can sound gay if
you word it correctly.
Yeah.
So my fourth point was what I quite liked was Troy kind of pushing back against masculine stereotypes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which I had in my mind, in my memory, I thought that I remembered him being a lot more reluctant
Okay.
to want to partake in the auditions and theatre club. And now rewatching it, it's like, actually, no, he's the basketball guy, but he genuinely is like, oh, I really actually like singing, and this could be a new thing, and he's not.
It could be the start of something new.
There's going to be a lot of bad singing in this podcast. in this episode. So I thought that was actually kind of refreshing for like 2006. He wasn't like a standard like jock character.
Yeah.
Who's constantly like fighting against this. It's everyone else trying to pull him away from the theatre instead of he himself. And then my reason number 5 is it made musicals cool again. Yeah. And I love musicals. I went through a big musical thing when I was a kid. So yeah.
No, like I really liked it, and it wasn't anything that I thought it was. You know, like I had no idea. I knew it was a musical. They sang, and that was all that I knew. I didn't know what the plot was. I actually believed that Sharpay and Ryan's character, I actually thought they were together.
Yeah.
Like the way I used to see it, like on the adverbs or anything. But I always thought, oh, maybe he's secretly gay. And that's the plot that I invented in my head. Yeah. He's secretly gay, but he's using her.
Yeah.
But no, like I thought it was really, I really liked it. I mean, I think it's I'm surprised at the message, at the moral of the whole film. I found that it was very. I wasn't expecting it to have like a final message, you know, like say, you be yourself. Like I thought it was only like this love story between these two kids, and that was it. Yeah. But it was more than that, and I was I was pleased.
It was nice. Yeah, it was interesting revisiting it because I haven't seen it in quite a few years.
Yeah.
I guess the conflict for me now, maybe if you're a kid, it hits harder.
Definitely,
I think wanting to try something new and feeling the social pressure of just having to fit into this one little box. Yeah. Objectively, I guess the conflict is an odd one. I guess now that you look at it.
What do you mean by odd one?
No, I think the reason that they're trying to keep these two apart, I think, is a bit convoluted. Is what I mean. Okay. That they're just like, oh, you are the athlete. Yeah. And you are the science geek. Yeah. And therefore because you both want to do theatre, we have to keep you both apart.
Yeah. I mean,
a slightly weird concept.
Yeah, but I don't know if like again, like I didn't see this film when it came out, so I get to see it from a grown up,
an old person's perception.
But to me, isn't that maybe a little bit exaggerated? But isn't that how kids at this age are? Like that you have to be one thing because that's the thing that you are, and of course, again, like I don't know if that's something that would happen in the real world. Like your friends would actively
try and
keep you apart from someone else because you're the basketball star. But I think that's something that a lot of teenagers or even younger kids feel like, like my friends are my friend and you have to be this because you have to be this. So, but yeah, like it's a very oversimplification of the conflict. But but I guess it's like for me, it's like a good, like you said, a good teenage or kids film.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't. It's not much more than that. It's
No,
not. It's
no,
not a
yeah.
good film in general. I think it's a good. Like no, I know, and
How
by
dare you!
and by that I don't mean that it's a bad film.
No, yeah.
But that if you compare it to other films, okay, of course, in terms of script writing and the technicals, it lacks a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it does what it has to do, and I think it sends a really nice message
Nice
to kids.
message, yeah.
Be yourself, kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck
I mean,
the
it makes
status
me-
quo.
It makes me wonder if this is an accurate portrayal of high school in America. You know, is it that strict, like in terms of labels? I guess.
Yeah, that's the
The
thing, right?
hierarchies.
Like, I think we would have to ask an American if any American is listening to this, please
Yeah.
comment. Yeah, because always my idea of American high school is the one that I get from movies. You know, like there's a cheerleader, there's the captain of the football team,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's actually how it works.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I mean, a lot of American high school movies have that, don't they?
yeah, so
stereotypes.
maybe there is something true about that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I find this film like an interesting sort of middle ground between, I think, these older teen movies where you have these, I guess, archetypes of like the cheerleader, the jock, the geek, the popular girl, or the mean girl, and I think more modern takes like, say, Booksmart, where they're like, you can be popular and get good grades and stuff. You're not just one thing. And I think High School Musical kind of treads that middle ground where it's like, I guess people.
It's like that in between.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I guess maybe that transition period. Like initially,
I
like
know.
that transition period. I think because we watched it twice
Yeah.
together, and the first time around, I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of weirdly dated in the sense that it's still playing into these stereotypes or these archetypes. And then the second time round, I felt like actually it's aware of these archetypes and it's saying maybe you should break free from those, which I think is quite interesting.
Yeah, no, like I said, I thought that it was going to be the typical teen movie in the sense that Zac Efron's character is going to be a dickhead and he's going to be changed by the power of love. And no, he was like
Falls for the new girl.
Exactly, but no, it was like he was a nice guy from the beginning, but he was just torn between following his heart and his passion for musical theater.
Yeah.
And not disappointing his friends, which I think is cool in how they play that, because like in a 90s film, like he probably his motivation for not going going 100% for the musical theater thing would have been, oh, I don't want my friends to make fun of me, or I don't want to people to call me a sissy, or I think that his motivation in this film is, I don't want to let them down, in the sense that I don't want to lose the game.
Yeah.
And because they are all waiting, they're expecting this from me, so I cannot let them down. I have to help them, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And
So
I guess also that parental pressure from his dad of like, oh, you
Exactly.
need to get a scholarship from this.
Yeah.
You have to focus solely on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does what it has to do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I really enjoy the fact that they showed, like, okay, look, we are more than what we us for at school,
Or what we are defined by other people by.
Exactly. So I found that very nice, and that I think is a really good concept that even adults don't really grasp.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Like
yeah.
a lot of adults, they expect you to be this
this
one-dimensional
one thing.
character, and now like we have different layers.
Yeah. We're all three-dimensional guys. Yeah, and I like what you were saying about Troy, like Zac Efron's character. I guess you could also see about Gabriella's character in that she's the geeky new girl, which in a lot of films would lead you, I guess, to be ostracized or to be bullied maybe.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
she's not.
Yeah.
And there's no bullying going on, and she's just the smart girl, and she also wants to do theatre.
Yeah, no, I think I think what you say is a good description. Like it's a good in between those 90s films where, yeah, it's like, it's ridiculous how it's, the cheerleader is always the bitch. The nerd
Yeah.
girl is always the ugly dog that is turned into a swan. And the jug is just an asshole, but it's changed.
Cool. I mean, do we just want to go through the plot?
Let's go through the plot, baby.
Yeah, cool. So we start off. It was New Year's.
It was New Year's.
New Year's in a ski chalet.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very big.
Yeah.
They have a basketball court.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where Troy and his dad are playing basketball. One of the 50 times that we see them play basketball. And then his mom.
The only time we see Troy's mom.
Oh, that's true.
That is something that it's really like, I wonder what happened to that woman.
And I'm trying to.
Did they leave her in the ski chalet?
They only could afford to pay her for one day.
Yeah, sorry.
The only time Troy's mum shows up in the whole film, and she's like, "You should do more than just play basketball. There's this party going on downstairs for young people, young adults.
Yeah.
And you should go and try it out, see what happens." And then at the same time you have Gabriella, who's a nerd, so she's reading a book. Yep. And then her mum's like, "You should go to this party.
Yeah.
You should do stuff.
Yep.
Don't be a recluse." And then they go to this party and they're doing like karaoke.
Yeah. And
then the two of them in the sweetest, most convoluted way. No, not convoluted. They get them together.
Yeah.
They they get picked to sing karaoke, which they're obviously very awkward about initially.
Yeah, that's one of the things. One of my reservations to the film. I mean, it's a kids' film. It doesn't have to be overly complicated, but it does feel a lot of the things happen because they have to happen. You know, like the fact that he gets picked at the same time that she gets picked. It's like very okay.
Well, I mean, we don't know them at this point, so.
But I mean, you know that they are the stars of the show.
I get, of course, yeah. I guess the coincidence, I guess, of her moving to the same school as him later on and then meeting.
I think they play a lot of that coincidences. Yeah, and it's like okay.
We get
but let's move on.
Yeah, so they're awkward initially.
But then
Troy,
they start
singing through the power of music. Troy reluctantly starts singing, and then he's like, "Oh God, this is rubbish. This is going really badly."
Which is my question. Like, they just ask anyone to sing, and what if they have an awful voice? Then they get
part of the fun of
bullied?
Karaoke.
Just making fun of people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. But these are teenagers. You're scarring them for life.
Well, that's part of
and that's life for you.
That's life. That's part of growing up, kids. And then he's about to leave the stage, and then she starts singing, and like, "Oh my God, she's such a beautiful singing voice." Yeah. And he quickly gets enchanted, and then they start singing, and they really get into it, and everyone's like in the background, like, "Oh my God, yes,
they're
listen
so
to this.
Good.
They're rocking out there." And then after the performance, they're just talking, chatting away.
Yep.
Clearly making eyes at each other. And then we have some fireworks because it's New Year's.
Yep.
And I'm like, why are they not spending New Year's with their
parents?
parents?
With their families, exactly. That's like the parents just send them off so that they could, like Troy and Troy's parents, so that they could get it on. But I don't know, Vanessa Hudgens' mom.
From what I can tell, because we never see her dad, so I'm guessing she's a single parent.
Yeah, maybe she went to mingle.
Maybe. At the adults' party.
Exactly.
And then they exchange like phone numbers.
Exactly. They exchange phone numbers, but he's when he's about to ask her for her name, she leaves.
No? I think they've already told each other.
But there's something that he asks. No. Where do you live? That's where he asks her, and then she leaves.
And she's gone. You know, he turns around and she's gone.
Yeah. Which is like, again, like, okay, exit Vanessa. It's like, okay, why did you leave all of a sudden? He's just asking for your number and you're just leaving.
Well, yeah.
But
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess she thought, oh, this conversation is over. I better leave now.
Without saying goodbye.
It's midnight.
Maybe she went to her mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I would think
yeah.
maybe she had a deadline. Maybe she
Yeah.
had a curfew. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
And then we cut to I don't know how many months later, weeks later,
I
a
think
couple
it's,
of weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
Coming back from Christmas holidays, I'm assuming. We're at high school. He's turns out Troy is like one of the popular kids. He's the basketball star, Wildcats. And then it turns out, we find out Gabriella is the new student. She's just moved to the area. He doesn't know that. She doesn't know that.
Yeah.
We are introduced to Chad, Troy's best friend,
Yeah.
who is also obsessed with basketball.
And apparently gay.
And bisexual, from what I've read. That's the theory. That's the running theory. Yeah, who has issues. And the bitch, I guess. The mean, not the bitch, the mean girl.
Exactly.
Sharpay and her brother Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I was gonna say that that whole setup of them meeting over the holidays and then going back to school and being in the same school
Yeah.
reminded me a lot of Greece. That's exactly
yeah.
the same setup as in Greece. And like I thought, oh, okay, they're trying to do that. I mean, I'm sure they had to be aware, especially if they're making a musical.
Yeah, to be fair, I did
Yeah.
when I was reading it, did say it was inspired.
Yeah, because it
By
has a lot of
Greece.
similarities, except the whole you have to change everything you
About
are so
you.
that guy would like you. But
It's a much more accepting message.
it's good to know that we've moved past that.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, but it reminded me a lot of Greece. That
Yeah.
whole beginning. I was like, oh, okay, they're
Okay,
playing.
they met over the whenever.
Yeah, and they
the
are,
holidays
and
and-
then like, oh, they're the same school.
You're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we enter the shortest drama class
Yeah,
of all time,
yeah.
where it's like they enter, and then
5 minutes later, it's
5 minutes, the
like,
bell rings. they have enough time to get all of their phones confiscated and get detention.
Yeah,
And then the bell rings.
yeah.
Yeah, he accidentally calls her on her phone, and the phone goes off, and then everyone one thing leads to another, and several people get detention.
Yep.
I'm not sure if it will go to the detention. I think next.
Yeah, I think which is in at the theater,
The
so
theatre,
they
the
could
drama
help.
club.
Yeah,
Where it seems like this is one of these are the funny things that you
Yeah.
notice are going on in the background now once you become a film student,
yeah,
filmmaker. There are a lot of them are painting like set pieces and things, and you notice you can go and look at the scene. I think she's talking to like Troy and Shad or something, and then in the background you can see Sharpay and Ryan
painting
a ladder. You kind of wonder if they just ran out of like set things, and the director was just like, okay, the actors were like, oh, we need something to do.
Yeah,
So they're just like, paint this ladder. Yeah, because then afterwards that ladder comes in.
Yeah,
during their
that's-
performance, but then it's got like.
it has. That's what I was
tinsel
gonna
on
say
it.
exactly, because I was gonna say it does come.
It was a setup.
I was going to
It's
say
setting up for-
it comes up again, but then I remember, but it's not painted in the
No,
in the
exactly.
color.
It's not.
like
It's not
something
painted in the
else.
color. It's like tinsel, like
Yeah.
golden tinsel. So that
Yeah.
can't be right. So I wondered, is this like a really deep setup for for their
Yeah.
audition later on? Oh my god. No, yeah. So just these little things that you notice. Filmmaking.
Yeah.
So they're painting a ladder, and but then of course Troy and Shad are missing basketball practice.
Yeah.
So that doesn't obviously go unnoticed by his father, the coach,
Exactly.
and he storms into detention. And this is where we find out that him and the drama teacher have kind of beef with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we move into what was one of your favourite musical
Yeah.
numbers,
I
which
think
I
it's-
think is one of my favourite as well.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice song. And it has really good choreography. Like the 28-year-old me was impressed by the things that they did with the basketball ball. Oh, no, just say basketball.
The basketball.
Basketball. ball.
The basketball ball.
Well, let's move on. But yeah,
So now we know.
exactly. The main point is that I think it's a really nice choreography. It does have like this moment
It does, yeah.
that
you
is like
pointed out.
okay, come on. In which it's like a spotlight comes and it's Zac Efron singing "What is my head in the game and my heart's in the song" or something like that, and it's like very cheesy. But overall, I think it's a really nice song and a really nice choreography. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so in spite of what everyone's telling him not to do, he goes to the auditions. And then hiding behind her. This was a fun part for me because it was like him trying to sneak through, getting away from Chad, trying to sneak through the school. At which point he runs through like a mechanic shop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what kind of high school is it? Are they teaching mechanics?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, all my ideas of American high schools come from movies.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to know.
And they always have like wood shop or something, right? So maybe they're teaching their students how to fix a car, which I think is a really nice thing to teach. Or maybe it's just
a useful skill.
No, yeah, or maybe it's just they have like a little place for teachers to repair their cars in the school
for free
because
they're working on such a low salary.
Exactly.
Which is something else I'd like to bring up just before we get to the auditions, which is before this we see Troy and his dad playing basketball once again in the backyard of their house. They have their own basketball field. And this and you notice in the background this enormous house.
Yeah.
Which this will probably sound maybe elitist. I have a question here because I'm like, he's a basketball coach. And famously, teachers don't make that much money.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, maybe the mom's just really...
Maybe that's why we don't see her in the movie. Because she's so busy working. She's maybe like a Wall Street broker or something.
Yeah, I do remember she is in the second one, though.
Ah, okay.
Just for a brief moment.
Just like in this one.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, she just shows up after having gone shopping.
Yes, you see, she's rich. Maybe she is like
She's the money earner.
Exactly, which is, if it is, it's very progressive.
Yeah, for 2006, yes. Well done, High School Musical. Yeah, and then we land at auditions where he's like, Troy's hiding behind a cleaning cart, and then Gabrielle suddenly shows up as well out of nowhere. Catch each other, and then we get a glimpse of an audition process, which I think ends up highlighting just how talentless most of the students in this school, comically untalented.
Yeah.
And it reminds me, I'm guessing maybe they took inspiration from High School Musical. It reminded me, you haven't seen Pitch Perfect, have you?
No, I haven't.
Like there is a very similar audition scene. It's more set to music, but where a lot of comically bad students audition.
I guess it's a very like common device to just like to get some laughs from the audience. Exactly. You just make people be bad. I don't know if it's I don't know if all of them feel genuine. I think it at some point it does feel like, okay, they're just pretending to be bad. That you see that they are. Sorry.
Let me just trip them for a minute.
Exactly.
Which is also something that happens after this, where Kelsey, she very theatrically falls.
Oh, awful.
Literally just like, whoa, and throws all of her papers up in the air. I love that moment.
Like sometimes I think, I don't know, maybe for kids, it's okay.
Well, that's like as a kid, you wouldn't realize how fake that looks.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like, maybe a kid wouldn't realize it looks very fake. They would just laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
But as not kids anymore,
we can be critical.
Exactly.
So then everyone's really awful, and then Sharpay and Ryan come up and perform.
Yeah.
And do a very different rendition of Kelsey's song, which proves to be it happens throughout the films that Sharpay kind of takes these songs and puts her own spin on it. And then Gabriella and Troy miss their opportunity to audition because they're
Too late.
Well, no, well they're not too late because they kind of hold back because the drama teacher, she's like, any more or like last minute auditions, and then only after she's leaving do they come up and she's like, nope, you missed a chance. And then Kelsey trips, and the nice people that they are, they go and help her up, and then she hey, do you wanna listen to what I wrote, the songs that I wrote? And they're like, sure. Like, we were just being polite. We were just being nice.
On the inside, it's like, oh no.
Sure.
Let's humor her.
But that's it. This poor lonely music girl.
Yeah.
And then they sing a really nice rendition of this song, and then the drama teacher obviously hears it, and she's like, yeah, she changes her mind. It's like, okay, you can come back for callbacks.
Yeah.
Which, when everyone finds out, everyone is very upset about this.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Sharpay in particular, and then we get the next really good musical performance with Status Quo.
Yeah, I really like that song. I think has a really nice message. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think it's I don't know if I think it's a really nice message back like now, but also I was surprised that it was where they were going for back in 2006.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was like very like open-minded, like, oh yeah, people are more than the thing that you think they are.
Just this one label.
Exactly. We have different layers and different things that we can like. We're multidimensional.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I really enjoyed that song, and I think I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it has a nice message.
Stick to the status quo.
And then we move on to basically the devious plan that their friends now hatch, because they're all upset that they've tried to dare breach the status quo and step outside their box.
Yeah.
This is what I mean in that, like I say, if you're a kid, it probably hits harder, but rewatching it now, the conflict feels slightly manufactured, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but
yeah, no, exactly. It looks like very conniving and like very like manufactured, because it's just like, oh no, we are gonna sabotage them.
Your happiness.
Exactly. Which I thought they are really bad friends. Like, let your basketball friend sing, and I don't even like the whole conflict with Gabriella's friends was they didn't want her to hang out with Troy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
like, at least with the basketball guys, you have maybe the worry that he won't be very focused on basketball anymore, and he's their star player, so they don't want him to lose focus. But with Gabriella, it's the question of like, why have you got a problem with this?
Yeah, exactly. It's very like I find exactly like you said. I think like the basketball guys do have maybe their interest is being compromised, but I don't know what the problem with the science people is.
I mean, I guess they're kind of set up as having a slight maybe superiority complex, because you do have that moment with what's her name, Gabriella's best friend, who like talks to her and like, oh, you don't want to hang out with Troy, and then makes fun of cheerleaders.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess it's a sense of, well, because we're smart, so you shouldn't be hanging out with these people.
Yeah, I think that's. But again, this is a film for kids. But
we're taking this really seriously.
Yeah, but I do think that's a very shallow conflict that they didn't explore. They could go into that a little bit more, but again, kids
it's a Disney film.
Yeah, exactly. But I found that bit like very shady from their friends, and I was like,
definitely.
Are you sure you want to be friends with them? But
yeah, and then we come to the actual execution of the plan. Which, in retrospect, you watch and you kind of think a lot of things have to fall into place for this to work, because what basically happens is that they lure Troy down to the basketball changing rooms and confront him with all these past winners.
Among which is his dad.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to, I guess, guilt trip him, really. Is like, you could be one of these people, and giving it all up for dance.
Yeah.
How dare you? And then at the same time, you have the science guys sitting Gabriella down, who, as you pointed out, has no lines in this scene.
In that scene, yeah, it's weird.
And they're basically making a point about evolution and how, again, she shouldn't really be hanging out with him. And then they just turn on the computer, and in the meantime, in the locker room, you have one of his friends. Troy starts making this big speech about, I guess, Gabriella doesn't matter, or the musical doesn't matter, and you're the most important guys in my life. I'm gonna, focus on basketball. And very inconspicuously, one of his friends slowly opens up his laptop
and
with a very visible webcam.
Exactly, because it's not like nowadays laptops that the webcam is integrated in the
or a little GoPro. Or something.
It's like an old vintage webcam
that you have to actually attach to the laptop. And then they broadcast this to Gabriella. Yeah. I mean, you would think it would be easier for them to kind of get Gabriella to come somehow lure her down into the locker room, into the changing room, while he's saying this.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Because then afterwards, she's obviously very upset and hurt, and then
that's why she sings her heart out.
Her heart out beautifully. I think does the song come before she rejects? I think before she rejects
it,
yeah, and she's singing. She's walking through the hallways, singing next to an enormous poster of Zac Efron.
So ridiculous.
I'm like, does every high school have massive posters of their star basketball students hanging up there? Yeah, and it's a nice song. And then he comes round to a locker one time, and she basically says we shouldn't do the auditions, the callbacks, and so and then he has no idea why, and he doesn't seem to think that the conspicuous webcam had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So and then it's really just a montage of both of them being very unhappy, and their friends realizing the error of their ways.
Yeah.
Realizing that they're really rubbish friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then they try and then they talk to Troy on the rooftop.
Yeah.
And one of his friends brings his little lunchbox with him.
Yeah, with cookies.
That he made himself.
Because he loves to bake.
Because he loves to cook and he loves to bake. That's his thing. He does. Yeah. Which apparently is also inappropriate if you're playing basketball.
I know. Oh. It's like, how many things are basketballers actually allowed to do?
I know. Are they literally? That's the thing. They're literally just apparently only allowed to play basketball, which I think Chad, his best friend, is the epitome of, because he carries a basketball everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
I guess it's very I don't know if cliche. Well, yeah, cliche definitely, but I guess they're just very leaning a lot into this whole archetype of the sports guy whose life only revolves around sports, so he has to carry his basketball
everywhere.
I mean, again, it's I guess for kids, the plots have to be a little bit more simple, and you have to rely on archetypes and stereotypes.
Yeah. I think we were still in that phase, weren't we?
Exactly. It's only 2006.
Yeah. We're not as smart as we are now.
Yeah, exactly. No, definitely not. I think when I look back at some of the, cartoons or shows that I watched as a kid, and I compared it to some of the things that kids have access to right now. It's like, oh yeah, we're no wonder we're fucking idiots.
We were stupid.
We were so stupid.
What are we doing? No wonder. Yeah, so we're on the rooftop, and then they finally confess what they did, and Gabriella's friends confess what they did.
Yeah.
He's very receptive to them. She is not.
Yeah.
And so then he goes around to her house.
Yeah.
And also a very big house again.
Yeah.
Like, this is obviously a very rich neighborhood. And so her mum opens the door, but she doesn't want to see him. So then he does the obvious thing and break into a garden.
Yeah. And starts throwing. I think he.
No, he calls her.
Yeah.
He calls her, and then suddenly he's on the balcony.
Exactly, because that's the thing. Like, he calls her so that she turns on the light, and he can know which window her bedroom is.
I thought about that.
At least that's what I thought.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, and then I think, doesn't he throw rocks at him? At the window?
No, I don't think so.
Then maybe
he calls her.
Okay.
And then we cut to, like, he's in the garden, and then we cut to her, and the camera moves along with her, and then he's suddenly like, I'm here or something, I don't know. And then she turns around and he's on the balcony.
Okay, maybe then I just confused it with another like teenage 80s film in which that does happen.
That does happen a lot, I think.
Yeah. It's like a
go-to.
like a trope, yeah.
But I guess this was 2006. Mobile phones were a new thing, so we had to show them off.
Yeah, like, it's crazy. Like, she has, I think, like a Palm Pilot or something like that. That's her phone.
What's that? I haven't heard of that.
It's her phone. It was like a Palm Pilot, and that was. And you have to understand, Hazel is a very young person, and I am not.
By 2 years.
So I think.
No, hang on.
It's 5 years.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do maths. No, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
So a lot of our conversations is me
making you feel old.
Exactly, and explaining things. No, but these Palm Pilots were like this very fancy phones that, at least in Venezuela, only like really rich people had, and it was mostly for like business people, because you could access to Word and send emails back in the day when phones didn't do that.
So they were like the fancy, so they were like the iPhone before the iPhone.
I think so, yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's a little bit of history.
They must hate Apple now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
They ruined our business model.
Yeah, I think like Apple was only like the computers probably, and the iPod Classic probably.
Yeah, at that point.
But yeah, a little trip down memory lane.
The good old nostalgia.
Yeah. Okay.
So I learned something there at least. Yeah, and so he manages to persuade her to do the callbacks, but then in the meantime, another obstacle has presented itself with Sharpay and Ryan, and Sharpay. Well, I think she overhears them practicing with the singing, and so she convinces the drama teacher to move the callback auditions to the same time as a very important basketball game and also a science thing.
Yeah.
A science competition.
Yeah, which tells you how easy to manipulate this drama teacher is.
I know, right?
It's like, oh no, like we should change it. Okay.
Sure.
Show some authority, woman. Come on.
Yeah, because Sharpay, Sharpay is very manipulative in that she's like, oh yeah, they're trying to, and it's so stupid because it's like she brings up the idea that the basket, like, this is like the coach's way of infiltrating the drama club or something. Yeah. And you think, really? She's very paranoid, this drama teacher.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it works. So now they have to find, but again, and then so they throw up this other obstacle, but then it's immediately solved.
Yeah.
They're all like, let's work together as a team.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, it's immediately solved, but like if you think about it, you like in real life, it wouldn't be that easy to do.
No.
Because they have to hack like the electric system of the school, and then they also do something.
Yeah, but they're science guys though, so
they're high school science guys.
Exactly. They know how to do this stuff.
Oh god. Yeah, but yeah, they all, after hating each other, they
The
just
entire time they group
yeah,
together.
and so that they can get their friends to audition to.
Yeah, so the science group hack the scoreboard
Yeah.
during the basketball game, so that goes down. So then they empty the
Jim.
gym, yeah, and they win. The science group win
The competition.
their round, I guess.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then they, I don't know, do something with chemicals.
Yeah, they
That makes
create
it
this
smell.
sort of, yeah, it's like, it's not an explosion, but it's like this chemical reaction
Yeah,
that releases like
yeah. So they all have to leave that room, and then they all and then this is the bit that you loved for the Latin dance. the Latin performance
For
from
some
Sharpay and Ryan.
reason, for some reason they, I guess, I mean, when you know that the director has, I don't know if he is actually Latin American, but he has definitely roots.
Okay.
So you kind of understand. Okay, he maybe wanted to sprinkle
For a little bit of
some
a Latin dance in there.
but then you choose the two whitest cast members that you have on the film to do this.
But maybe that was.
It is like, come on.
Maybe that was the point, though. Maybe he was trying to create more dislike for these characters
maybe.
by
Maybe.
having them do that, and you're like kind of like really.
Maybe. But probably just he would create that sort of resentment towards them only like in the Latino community, because probably other white people would think, oh my god, they're so progressive.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
They're speaking Spanish.
Who knew? These are such intelligent students.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, it's a song full of like I have here like caliente, suave, ay 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 ay. It's like we have our vocabulary is much more broader than that. So, come on.
That's how you communicate. It's just with those three words. Caliente.
Exactly. And I don't know. I think also like music wise, I think it's like very like loud and I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of the trend that you see with Sharpay's character.
Yeah.
Very loud and in your face and not at all subtle. And
yeah. Okay. That makes sense then.
I mean, that's the point. I think is it's contrasting this very beautiful song in its original form with what Sharpay and Ryan do with it. They completely miss the point of the song. Yeah, so they have their callback audition, and then Gabriella and Troy run in, but they've already had, again, this drama teacher who's questionable in her actions. Not her authority. She's like, nope, called you. You weren't there. You didn't respond. But then she again immediately changes her mind once the entire
school
shows up to watch these callback auditions.
Yeah,
and then you have a very very nice song with Troy and Gabriella.
Yeah,
which has a bit of a bumpy start when Gabriella freezes for a moment.
Yeah, that you have to think. But if you wanted to do this, how do you think you were going to do it?
You didn't think about this? This didn't occur to you?
But I guess you can get stage fright and you cannot control that. But yeah, I think that was just to add a little bit more of
a little bit of drama.
Yeah. Like a 5-second drama.
One final bit of conflict.
Yeah, exactly. But then of course they get over it
and do it really well and get the parts.
Yeah. Did they get the part?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's and then Sharpay and Ryan become like their understudies. And then we have the final song that solves everything is resolved. Everyone is happy now.
Yeah.
Where we have we're all in this together, which I really like again as a song, and I think it's well choreographed.
Yeah, I think to me it's like too happy, it's too optimistic, but yeah, I guess that's the
well,
message
that's
that
the
you
thing,
want
and
to.
again, I mean, it's slightly jarring at the end with Sharpay's character because then suddenly she's like wishing Gabriella good luck.
Yeah,
Like genuinely.
Yeah, that's what threw me off a little bit because I thought she was the villain, you know. I thought
Yeah,
she was the bad
exactly.
girl.
Or the antagonist. Yeah.
Exactly, the antagonist. And then at the end, she's like, "Oh, you're so all the best. Break a leg.
Break a
Oh
leg,
no,
yeah.
don't worry, girl. That's how we say it in the theater."
I'm not threatening you.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so she's going to be nice now, but then in the
She's
second
not.
one, she's not. She's also
No.
the antagonist again.
Yeah. But again, and then at the end of the second one, they have a big group dance at the pool, and she's just, dancing around. So
Yeah, well,
again, there you go.
yeah, okay, but yeah, and then like this guy gives her a cookie, right?
Yeah, this guy again, the cooking basketball guy,
Yeah.
the baker. He has like a crush on Sharpay that we see throughout the movies, and him trying to give her cookies.
Yeah.
and then she really likes them.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to gain someone's heart.
Yeah.
Through cookies.
And that's you heard it here first. Bake your way into someone's heart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think, like I said at the beginning, I think it's a really nice film. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I would. And I was very surprised in terms of like the message and what the film is about. I thought it was like a very simple plot of, these kids want to dance.
Yeah.
I did find very surprising maybe that he, like Zac Efron and Vanessa something.
Hudgens.
Yeah. They're characters. They don't kiss, and like I think like they only kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
Once
At the end.
And it's not like I want to see teenagers
Making
making out, but they didn't give them like a kiss on the lips.
No,
nothing.
and that's the thing I noticed rewatching the second one is the entire second one is built around building up to this kiss. Like they keep going in for this kiss, and then something or someone always interrupts them. Which I found a bit weird because it seems pretty clear that they're dating.
Yeah.
And it's not until the end, obviously, then they build up to this big kiss between the two of them.
And then they do they kiss at the end?
Yeah.
Okay. In the second one.
In the second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's sending the kids the message, you have to wait, kids. Wait
until marriage.
Wait until the summer, because the second one plays in the summer,
in
right?
the summer holidays, yeah.
Wait until the summer holidays.
Wait until you're not in school.
Yeah.
So, what would you rate this out of from 1 basketball to 10?
To 10 basketballs. I would give it a solid 8. 8 basketballs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
what about you?
I had it at 7 actually.
Okay.
Because I think the second one is stronger.
Okay.
In terms of not only soundtrack but also conflict.
Okay.
And plot.
Okay.
But it's a solid watch. Like
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think it was. I don't find it quite as engaged. I think I wasn't quite as engaged with it as I remember being as a child. So it lost like.
I mean, you watched it and you were 9 probably.
I think I was like 10, 11. I think I didn't think I watched it as exactly as it came out.
Okay.
I think because I remember people talking about it, and then I was at a friend's house and we watched it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, no, I can see like how a 10, 11-year-old kid would be engaged in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say, I think with the conflict, I think it's probably more relatable when you're in puberty.
Yeah.
Than when you're an adult.
Yeah, no, but I think it's a good film. I mean, a good kids film.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Surprise in a good way.
Okay, I'm glad. Yeah. I'm happy about that. I introduced you to something.
Yeah. Thank you so much, my darling.
Of course.
Yeah.
And now we come to our final chapter in this podcast section, where we discuss weird movie title translations.
Yep.
So I researched. So this got started because we saw because we live in Berlin and we watch some German TV sometimes, and sometimes we do find some very weird movie title
Yeah.
translations. If you listen to the last one, one of them was taken, which really annoyed me, which is 96 hours
Yeah.
in German. But you can listen to the previous podcast for that. I found another one, which is A Streetcar Named Desire.
Okay.
And in German, the title is Endstation Sehnsucht,
Okay.
which is final, I guess, final stop or final destination desire,
Yeah. Yeah.
which doesn't ring as quite as well.
Yeah.
as nicely or poetically.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, with the idea of having Endstation, like final destination, is like, okay, it's all about, this is maybe going too poetic in the whole thing, but it's, okay, so the pleasure, the desire is the final goal.
Yeah.
Whereas with the original title, it's like the, how is it in English?
A Streetcar Named
A Streetcar
Desire.
Named Desire. So for me, it's like, okay, it's the whole journey.
Wow, you're reading so much into this.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because I was thinking, because I have read the play and I have
Yeah.
seen the film,
Yeah.
and there is, and it's very symbolic because she gets, like, she travels to her sister's
yeah.
house, getting off of a
Getting
streetcar.
off, if you know what I mean.
Oh, so unnecessary. No,
Sorry.
she gets off a streetcar, which is called Desire. But I like your interpretation of, like, it's the journey.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. But this wasn't as bad as 96 Stunden.
But it wasn't 96 Stunden, though, was it? It was 96 hours.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again.
God.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I've ranted about this before.
Yeah. No, that's true. I
That
always
would have made sense as a title. 96 Stunden would have made sense, but it's not. It's in English. The German title is 96
Yeah,
hours.
that's the whole thing, right? Like, yeah.
Why?
God, why? Yeah.
I don't know. And this other one, this was just me basically Googling
Yeah.
titles, and apparently, I mean, you can tell me what it is in Venezuela, what the title is called, but in Argentina,
Yeah.
I found that Greece
Oh God.
was translated as Vaseline.
Yeah, that's the name. That's the name. Vaseline.
Oh, wow, okay.
Sometimes I make the mistake when I'm talking when I'm speaking in English and I want to mention the film.
You want to say
Like
Vaseline?
my brain goes yeah in Vaseline, and it's like no it's not Vaseline.
Don't say Vaseline. That's a very different meaning here.
It's like no, it's not Vaseline. It's grease.
That was it. That thing
like
with
Vaseline.
balls.
Vaseline is greasy. Greasy comes from Greece. Greece.
It is Greece.
No, yeah, that's the name. That's the name because it's like you would use Vaseline like to comb your hair.
Oh, okay. Is that what? Oh, so
Yeah.
that's what Greece is in reference
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
So you're like, when I hear Greece, I hear like like cars,
Ah, okay. No, yeah, I think like in Spanish.
and all I can think is the flying car at the end.
Yeah. No, and like they have that number, right? That I don't know. They have a whole number with a car. No, but I think in Spanish at least, it's Vaseline because you use Vaseline to kind of like comb your hair and make all these hairstyles. I probably is the same reason what it is in English.
Yeah.
But no, it is Vaseline.
Okay. Long story short. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So all the Latin Americans that are listening to this, please do not say I love the film Vaseline.
Please say Greece.
It's Greece.
But is that a Spanish translation, or is that just for Latin America? Would
Probably
that be
for
in
just
Spain?
Latin America. You can Google it for Spain. Spain has the best titles.
Oh, okay. I'll
They're
have to
so
Google that
bad.
for
They're
next
so
next
bad.
episode.
Yeah, they usually change the names. They usually give. I'm not for all the films, but for a lot of them, it's like a name for Latin America and another name for Spain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't want to be associated with
No,
you.
not at all. They
Like,
came
no.
to our lands. They screw us over.
Yeah.
And left,
And
and
then
now
they
they
didn't want anything to do with you now.
No, they're washing their hands. And I'm okay. I apologize to all the Spaniards that are listening to this, but it's true. No,
Deep down in your soul.
no. But yeah, they have like very funny movie titles.
Okay.
So
yeah,
we can do like I'll Google also some.
Oh,
of them to see.
great. Because a lot of the ones I found that were really weird were like from China, I think.
Oh, okay.
They have some very odd
translations. Yeah, I could. Yeah, like there I could imagine because of all the different cultures. And
completely different language and stuff.
But yeah, no, fun. Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
So that was
Our second
episode.
Yay!
My film, one down each.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
have had one, I've had one.
Yeah, next time we're gonna have a friend of us sharing his one of his favorite childhood films.
Yeah, we thought we'd get like a male perspective in from
Exactly.
time to time.
Exactly, because guys deserve a chance to.
They deserve to show up once
Exactly.
a seat at the table.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I think it's gonna be fun hearing his perspective and ours.
Yeah.
And so hope you join us for that next week.
Yep. Hope you enjoyed the first two.
Yeah, and if you have any comments, complaints, or suggestions, let us know. And hopefully, if they make sense, we'll take them. If not, then you can
if they
forget
fit
it.
into the format, then we'll have a look. We'll have a go. And
Yeah, and thank you so much for listening to these two gals.
Just
And
chatting.
yeah. And I hope you listen to us next week. I'm Altair.
I'm Hazel.
And see you and hear you
Yeah, hear you.
the next time for Elevator Pitch.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
If you like this episode, why not hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss another episode? And if that's still not enough, you can follow us on Instagram at elevatorpitch_pod to stay up to date with all the latest news.